Hey, good evening, Miss Moore. This is video journal number 3, where we are to discuss or determine and discuss which theory of ethical norms most closely fits your personal decision-making philosophy. Me personally, what is the closest thing to me is the Judeo-Christian ethic decision-making. Reason being, it says the source is the Bible, and I would have to say that that's how I grew up. I grew up the son of a pastor. My dad was a pastor for 20 years, growing up. And that's how I was raised in the church. And I was raised under the golden rule. You do unto others as you would have them to do unto you, which is contrary to what some people think the golden rule is. Some people think the golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rules, but that's not the golden rule that I'm talking about. With the golden rule and, going by what the Bible says and when you're treating people how you want to be treated, it makes no difference what group you belong to, whether it's a minority group being female, racial minority group, sexual orientation, whatever the group may be. Regardless of those people, I was always taught that we're all put here on earth. We're all different. However, that does not mean that we weren't put here to get along together, do what we can for one another when we can, for one another. One of the things that I believe in is you reap what you sow more than you sow at a later time in life. I also believe the decisions that I make will have consequences one way or the other. I also believe what is done in the dark will eventually come to light. And although maybe it's not man who will judge me on what it is I do, or man may not know what has happened or what goes down. But I have a God that I believe in, Jesus Christ that I believe in, and I believe he will judge me one day, and I need to be sitting right on the path of judgment. So anything that goes against what is taught in the Bible, and I'm speaking specifically New Testament, we're talking mainly concerning myself. I can find myself really practicing the Judeo-Christian ethic value. Now, sometimes I do know that I will slip if you're talking about dealing with people other than myself. I can turn the cheek if you slap me. But if you slap someone that I care about, then, sometimes I may revert back to the Old Testament, which is eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Because not all people who I deal with sometimes are able to protect or take care of themselves. And sometimes you feel a responsibility to step in, especially with the ones you love and the ones you care about. So me personally, that is with my personal decision making, that is the ethical norm that I most closely identify with. And that is mainly because the Bible, I have been taught, is the rule and guide for my practices throughout life. And thank you for listening. I know it's over 3 minutes and I went a little longer. I know you like to keep it a little closer to 2 minutes. I do apologize for that, but I wanted to let you know why, and hopefully I was able to explain it well enough for you. Thank you very much for listening.